Anthony is the president of Visiting Agents Angels. Tell us a little more. Maybe we'll
Well,
talk about
I'm
it. But what?
actually go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
No,
for it,
no, no.
Jack.
Go ahead.
So I'm the owner and director of Visiting Angels. We've been in business since 2005. My wife and I own the company, and what we provide is senior home care. It's a franchise.
Mhm.
So um, we bought the franchise in 2005, we provide in-home care for seniors and adults, and we've been doing that for hundreds of families since October made 15 years exactly. Of course, this has probably been the most challenging year we've had since since the Great Recession in terms of business and things like that. But we've serviced hundreds of families and done super well with those things. And we work with a lot of folks in the community, certified nurse assistants who provide the in-home care. The in-home care model, I think, is only going to get better for us in a lot of ways because, after the pandemic, I think a lot of families don't really want to send their families to facilities, so they prefer in-home care. But certainly, and it's been challenging. But I have to say, with an amazing staff that we have right now, we are spot on and keeping our families safe and mitigating this whole process, by emphasizing infection control since January and wearing those masks and keeping our families.
Well, we're going to talk about it a
You
little bit.
know,
So anyway, Anthony, obviously, I'm sure you heard the whole thing, was telling us a little bit about his company and the beginnings, and that could be something that we could definitely, I'd like to talk about. So what I explained to Anthony is this is just an informal call, 45 minutes with a friend and a customer and an associate. Anthony, besides running his business, he also is a volunteer. He's actually a very active volunteer. And he currently presides the CHI Foundation. Okay. So I'm a member of that foundation. And, Anthony's let's call it a typical customer that was in a traditional, copier lease. Okay. And he reached out to me literally towards the end of his lease with a little bit of what I like to interpret as confusion. It's like, what do I do? They're telling me one thing, what's the best way to move forward? And I said, listen, if you allow us to advise you, we can help you wind down the lease that you have, return the equipment, and then we can provide you with a flexible solution that will save you some money as well as give you flexibility. I always like to say, you never know what things are going to happen. I mean, how many people are surprised this year with COVID and businesses have been affected one way or the other, mostly, unfortunately, down. So you want to have that kind of flexibility. So
to kind of get into that. So a couple of things. Obviously, for me, I've known Gustavo for now 2 or 3 years going on, with all the whole CHI community health connections. One of the big vendors, one of the big providers had provided us with a copiers, with a copier. But, just like most big people, you kind of get lost in the shuffle with the larger vendors. And so, one of the things that I'm always good on is certainly leaning on the expertise of people who, know their stuff, just like people call me because, about senior care. Our lease was coming toward an end. I had gotten an offer from the big vendor, and I thought, I know Gustavo does this pretty much, and I'm pretty much aware of what he can do, and he's a small business owner like myself. So let me reach out to him. We know each other pretty well, and see what we can do. So, I told him what the offer was from the big box, so not the big box, but the big vendor. He said, I think we could do better than that. And again, my personal feeling about supporting a small business is strong. So I said, look, if you can get me this deal and put together a package and help me figure out how to get out of this lease, because I had been through maybe before this big vendor, another big vendor. So it was kind of this whole thing. and they tie you up with all this language, but I know that Gustavo will be straight up with me in terms of what we could do. And not only did he give me a great copier, but we got another little brother copier on the side because my payroll and my invoice person needed a little one on her desk to provide that kind of not tie up the main one. We have a staff. Well, we had a staff of about 8 or 9. We're down to about five right now. But we didn't want to tie up the main, the multifunction printer, and so and that's spectacular. I mean, he's running a nice little package deal for me. The customer support. So we got the other one moved out. His folks dropped their Rico copier here. They packaged up the other one, took it to the thing. But not only that, they've been in the last couple of months because the big vendor was not really diligent about sending me confirmation that in fact they received it. So Gustavo's staff has been spectacular, following up. I mean, not even on top of mind, but they keep on sending me emails and CCing the other folks, from that big company. Did you get it? We need confirmation, and we finally got it after a couple of months. But to be honest with you, for me, like I know that people trust me with my business because we're small. I mean, we're franchised, but I own this, right? So this is mine, and Gustavo's name is on his company. And he knows me personally. So this is another thing too. We've had people that have personal relationships that we provide services for their family members. So isn't something more of an incentive, although I'm sure he would do that for all his customers, but he's done it for us. So no complaints. Listen, the co-owner and my wife is happy, and she tells me straightforward if the vendor is any good, it's a good deal. But you guys have been fantastic, and they send me information about the readings of for the copies and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean the follow up is great. The team is small, just like mine, but the team is good. So and we trust that. And again, he didn't lock me into a lease, so we're kind of and there was something else regarding insurance and stuff like that. He didn't need it. So all their expenses, and especially during the time of COVID, you really don't want to kind of get anything extra. And all we can have, as long as it's transparent and everything's good and everything's running, everybody's happy here. So thank you, Gustavo. I appreciate that. And again, supporting you as a small businessman was much more important because I have a relationship with you. The other folks were nice, but you fall through the cracks.
Well, I do appreciate, like I always have, we're super thankful about it, every one of our customers and for the opportunity that you're giving us. And obviously we deliver that with value and service. This is what, thank you for going through that story, because this is a very, very typical thing that happens to a lot of people, that maybe they're already in a contract with a large vendor, and many people think, oh, the larger the vendor, the more secure I'm going to be, and sometimes they do get lost in the shuffle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of focus on the other way around. We focus on the relationship and growing with you. So if we can do a good job, we know that not only can we grow with your business, but also that you would not hesitate to recommend us to others, some small businesses that are in similar situations. So thank you for your words. That's very encouraging.